Hello and welcome to Club Marine TV. I'm Mark Rothfield and behind me is Whittley's baby sea legend, the 20, which started life as a sterndrive. Today we're looking at it with a Mercury 150 on the back, and I've heard nothing but good reports. So let's see how she stacks up. I'm here with Alan Whittley, who's the Director of Marketing and Sales, also a third generation member of this proud boat building family. Alan, congratulations, 70 years. Tell me a little bit about the company history.
Our business was started in 1953 by my grandfather, so this year we celebrate 70 years. Obviously over that time, the boat building technology and the materials that we use has changed quite a fair bit. Back in the day, the business was founded by my grandfather and his brother, Uncle Ozzy, and they built a lot of timber boats. So, you know, Pa built them at night, and he'd take them, during the day, sorry, and he'd take them home and then paint them up at night. And then we sort of started becoming a bit more popular with the public and stuff like that, for sort of like a family cruiser and a Bondwood cruiser. And a lot of those Bondwood boats are still available today. You know, we haven't seen any on Sydney Harbour. We go down to places like Gippsland Lakes and stuff like that. So as the sort of popularity grew, we sort of got some dealers interstate and that sort of stuff, and the brand sort of expanded. And then pretty inventive, those guys back in the day with fiberglass, you know, the likes of my grandfather and the Spooners and stuff like that. They went over to America and they brought back a lot of the fiberglass boat building technology that we see today. But obviously the manufacturing process has improved quite a fair bit since then. Some of the old stories you used to hear about the manufacturing process are quite interesting, but that sort of leads us to where we are today. The business is owned by my family still, and we enjoy building boats in Melbourne, but the business evolved quite a fair bit. Obviously we're not just building the best quality boat that we can down in Melbourne for the local market, but we also distribute through our own dealerships, which is, I guess, another key benefit of buying a Whittley. You're dealing directly with the Whittley family from a drummer resin right to the end handover on a new boat, and then obviously we do the servicing as well in the different locations in the dealership. So it's quite unique in the industry what we do, and obviously it brings up the customer experience in line with the quality of boat, I guess. So
having that Whittley name on the side of the hull, what does that mean in terms of the quality that you put into the boats?
Well, it means a lot because obviously, yeah, like you said, our name's on the side of every single boat that we build, so we don't take that responsibility lightly, and you know, obviously it just means that we try and go that extra little mile because, you know, our name is on the side, and obviously just really focus on the quality throughout the build process, but again, also the quality experience for the customer post-sale as well through the dealership model. So
this might be the baby of the family, but it's also important. What are some of the features that you like about the 20?
It is, well, it's got a lot of the features that the bigger 27 that we went out today on Sydney Harbour does have. It's got that legendary deep V 23-degree dead rise ray glass Whittley hull, which is pretty sought after and pretty unique. And obviously, we first released the Sea Legend range of boats in the 90s. You know, we didn't sell as many, but as time has gone on, we got a little bit better at marketing to that fishing and that fishing family. The Sea Legends are a real stronghold of what we build now, and obviously the 20 doesn't feature the hardtop of some of the larger models, which are obviously quite popular, so it makes it a really sporty boat, an easy boat to drive. So, you know, it can be set up one weekend where you're camping on it, living aboard, next weekend out fishing with the family or your mates with an offshore capacity. But then it's also ideal for water sports and stuff like that. So it's a very versatile boat and used in many different applications around the country.
When the 20 was first launched, it had one job to do, and that was to be the budget-priced entry-level calling card for the Sea Legend range, and it did that really successfully. But since then, two things have happened. Firstly, the entry-level market has become a lot tighter. Obviously the family buyer, the tradie, is doing it a little bit tougher with that succession of interest rate hikes. And certainly if you had to borrow for this boat, you'd consider it. But I really hope that's a blip because it does deserve to be considered, especially in outboard configuration. This 150 Merc is a fantastic power plant for the boat. It's a 4-cylinder, 3 litres, relatively lightweight, 206 kilograms, and it gives the boat lots of punch. First thing I notice is these esky seats. Now that's a really Aussie solution to what can be a dilemma on board. If you have back-to-back seats, you lose some space and you don't get an icebox. Here They've recognised that eskies are the perfect height to sit on. They've given them a nice padded seat and halved the lid so you can just hinge them open to access what you want. Really clever thinking and very simple. Other features looking around, you've got a couple of leads here for the rear cockpit light and also your anchor light, really nicely integrated. Feels really secure here. I've got nice thigh-high padding and my feet right underneath this shelf. So on a 20-footer, it's important to have that. Really high quality bait board. It's got room for rod holders as well, 2 of those, plus on the side, and you have a rocket launcher, so you're not going to be short of rod storage. They've got this U-deck flooring on it. Really nice, high quality. It's a New Zealand product. Great non-skid, really comfortable underfoot. They've even included, to show that Whittley have thought of everything, a measure. It goes to a metre, which is a bit ambitious in my state, but anyway, it's good for some of those guys who are catching the big yellowfin and whatnot. Really nice seats, so these can just very comfortable when you're running. The quarter section can also fold down so you can get right into that aft section when you're fighting fish over the stern, or lift this section out and you can get onto the boarding platform or come aboard that way. Other little fishing feature, like they've got an inbuilt tackle box. Just a really nice setup out here, really stable boat. Underfloor you've got a kill tank here. Because it started life as a stern drive with that weight aft, they've been able to push the fuel and the water tanks just that little bit further aft so you get that balance, yet you can still have a nice big kill tank. Really good design. Battery access is through 2 little doors at the back. Twin batteries really are essential on a 20-footer these days, so you've got your house and your starter. All your switches, everything's really accessible too, so when you climb aboard it's just a simple matter of switching on your isolators. One thing I really love about the 20 is that it turns back the clock in some ways to that sort of classic Australian runabout with all the features that made that lifestyle great. Nothing superfluous about it, just a really simple, functional layout that's going to be easy on you to keep and easy on your family. Looking, for example, at this helm station, just a nice simple black moulding, so anti-glare properties. Pride of place goes to a Garmin screen. You've got a Sav winch option on this. This is a great fishing feature. It just has that drum winch at the front, so unreal for loading your anchor out. Couple of simple gauges. Things have got so much simpler now. Lovely switching system, well-placed throttle, and a really nice helm station. That and a comfortable helm seat, and you're a happy skipper. Looking around, it's got the best of both worlds in some ways. A nice screen that deflects and also prevents you getting spray aboard, but it also has some clears built in and a really nice bimini. Now, fantastic when you're on the water, but that can all fold down, so when you're putting it in your garage or towing it, also keeps the centre of gravity lower than on a hard top. So again, you get the best of both worlds. This is options with a rear awning. It's an extension that gives you more sun protection over the cockpit. A couple of bolts and undo a zip, and that can come off, so when you're converting it into fishing mode, you don't have it in the way. So really clever design. Whittley cut their teeth as overnighters and weekenders. In fact, they're renowned in some circles as being floating caravans. This one's not that, but I'm not surprised to see a fantastic cabin on the 20. In fact, it's about the same size down here as the 22. Just a little bit more open with less of a bulkhead here. Don't mind that either, because you can sit down here really comfortably. Even at 6 foot tall, I've got plenty of headroom. Creates a really nice double berth here. Just throw a couple of infills in here. You can have a porta potty on board, so comfortable for those sort of nana naps over weekends, or even a couple of nights aboard. Runabouts are all about feel, how they feel in the seat of your pants, how they feel in your hands, how they feel just when you're sitting at the helm. And I really like the way Whittley has set this boat up. Nice and comfortable seating position, good view over the top of the screen. The clears are fantastic. You can open them up if you need more flow through or vision as well. We drove this boat offshore a little bit earlier and it was rough conditions. Lots of sort of slop around the heads, and it was incredible for a 20-footer how it handles it. That's courtesy of the fact that it has a 23-degree dead rise hull. That's quite steep for a 20-footer, and obviously it comes with a little bit of a stability issue sometimes, but here those nice wide chines, full beam of 2.5 metres, helps settle the boat really well, and you get that soft ride. Yeah, that was really easy. Nice little roar from that V4. and off we go out of that hole really easily. Steering feels quite light, quite positive, really direct. And I feel really confident in it already. You can throw the boat into a turn, just that little bit of slide, it's gripping just enough, control, and still holding that pace. 150 is the maximum horsepower, it's also the recommended horsepower. And I agree with that. This XL 150 is a really nice motor. Yeah, that's moving now. That's doing about 60 kilometers an hour, over 60. Pulling 5,500 revs. That's a little bit short of what this motor's capable of. But still, I think that's a lovely little mid-range you get with it. That's where your fuel economy is going to be. Noise levels are just that little bit more comfortable. Bring it down now, that's around a 4,000 rev mark. Find that little happy spot. That is pretty quick for the conditions that we're in. Running really smoothly, really quietly as well. You can just tell a well-built boat. As with all Whittleys, you can option the 20 with a couple of very sensible automotive style packs. One is called the Marlin Broadbill. There's also a Coastal Tourer pack which adds just a few more onboard luxuries. You can also mix and match those packs while adding factory fitted options such as an entertainment system. Now the boat resides as standard on a Mackay trailer and it weighs in at 1,750 kilos dry. So you can tow that behind the average SUV. The term legend is often overused in Australia these days. It can refer to anyone from an old footballer to someone who bought you a beer at the pub. But in this case, that tag really does fit the SL20. It honestly has one of the best hulls I've ever driven in this size range. Pricing starts at $121,000, but it's closer to $141,000 as you see it here, packaged with a host of extras. Now, one boat tester I see wants to buy the boat, and that is an occupational hazard when you're aboard a Whittley. But I just hope the family buyer can stretch their budget to have one as well, because it really is a fantastic family fishing crossover boat. I'm Mark Rothfield for Club Marine TV. I'll see you next time.